Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper. This is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. And do we have a scoop for you? If I did this right, it is 3 in the morning my time. You're watching this, and we're breaking news about a new collaboration between Raid Shadow Legends and Capcom's Monster Hunter. This is going to be off the hook exciting. I remember Monster Hunter from my days playing the PlayStation 2 way back in the day, and for the 20 years since. By the way, congratulations on 20 years, 20th anniversary for Monster Hunter. But these guys are coming to Raid Shadow Legends. Let me tell you what's happening, so stay tuned. Let's get right into it. That is right. The scoop is being dropped. Monster Hunter coming to Raid Shadow Legends. I hope you're having a wonderful start to your day, and I hope that I'm about to make it brighter. First, let's talk about what Monster Hunter is. Monster Hunter was an old ARPG in the days of PlayStation 2, and it has been around for 20 years with iteration of iteration. PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, 4, PlayStation 5, the portable, the Viva, the Windows, you name it. There have been so many different titles, starting with, of course, the original Monster Hunter way back in March of 2004. 20 years ago this March, a big franchise with a big starting title. I remember playing it. I hope you do too. But even if you don't, what does that mean for you in Raid Shadow Legends? It means 5 Monster Hunter inspired champions are coming to Teleria. Now let me read you the mythos or the background of the of Monster Hunter and its role in Teleria. So here's the deal: Raid champions of are going to be in World of Teleria with Monster Hunter armor, weapons. There's going to be an inspiration of 5 new legendary champions coming to the game. I got the scoop on 2 of the kits I can show you today in this video. One will be a fusion set to start. I'm sure you've already figured it out by the warm-up. The other is going to be a daily login. We'll get to that in a minute. But how did they get here in the first place? Well, let me read an excerpt of the lore for you right now. Emerging through the mysterious portals from another world, the monsters of Monster Hunter arrived in Teleria. Confused by their new surroundings, they began to lash out and wreak havoc. Luckily, the monsters were also followed by palicos, cat-like companions who were trained to help hunters in their world. The palicos successfully recruited 5 hunters native to Teleria and assisted them in defeating the otherworldly monsters. From the remains of these monsters, our native Telerian hunters crafted amazing armor and weapons, making them stronger than ever before. So, what does that mean for you? It means 5 Monster Hunter costumes and weapons are coming into our world with 5 new Raid legendary champions. These are not going to be actual Monster Hunter characters or the monsters themselves. Those forces of nature showed up, were vanquished, and the result is the 5 champions you're going to have an opportunity to put on your account in the coming months. We'll get into that in a second, like I said. Okay, so what's happening? 5 champions. When does it start? January 9th. I suspect by the time you see this, the day 1 will already be live in the game. If it isn't, it'll be shortly thereafter. January 9th is when it is set to drop. And the program ends March 5th, 2024. How? Well, the first champion is going to be available simply through the daily login. So it's a loyalty program. You log in for 7 days, you get this champion. There's also going to be a fusion, which starts on January 11th. And the other ones will be through in-game events and activities. And one special monster, a Void Affinity legendary champion, will be available, of course, through shard pulls and events. Now, what's going on? Let's talk about them. Let's talk about the 5. First, I'll give you the 5 names and their weapons. The deal with Monster Hunters is their armor and weapons. It's what gives them or helps give them their power to defend and fight the monsters of Monster Hunter. It's what they did to vanquish them here and what we are able to see in the game in the 5 champions that we're going to be able to. The first one is a Bannerlord wielding the longsword Wyvern Blade Fall, and that's Rathalos Blade Master. He's going to be your login champion. Then we have a Knights Revenant Alteron Blade Master, who will be with the Longsword Dark Claw Demise. And it's going to be a Spirit Legendary support-based champion. The third one, the crown of jewel of them all, will of course be Fatalis Blade Master, a Dark Elf Void Legendary HP-based champion with the Great Sword Black Fatalis Blade. Then we're going to have our Niragante Archer, who's going to have Doom's Shaft, a bow, and that'll be a Spirit Legendary defense-based champion. And finally, our fifth will be the Usurper's Fulgur, who wields dual blades. The weapon is Usurper's Fulgur, which is dual blades wielded by Zingore Blade Master of the Shadowkin faction, a Magic Affinity legendary attack-based champion. So those are the 5 champions you're going to have an opportunity to get a hold of during this exclusive event. How do you get them? Well, the first one will be the 7-day loyalty program. Like we talked about, Rathalos Blade Master, the Bannerlord, will be part of a loyalty program, a free, a la every other champion we've gotten in this, whether you know this is gonna be an exclusive one. So once it's gone, it's gone. You won't be able to summon this after the fact. It's going to be a unique thing only, kind of like Ninja was, kind of like I believe a couple of others. Simple, another example. Those are ones that they're no longer available. That's going to happen now. The first day, the enrollment is January 9th. The final day is February 27th, and must be claimed by March 5th. Now, once they're in the game, they're permanent, but they're going to disappear as of March 5th. So if you don't get it by then, you won't get them in this game. The second one, Alterion, will be available through shards and in-game activities. We don't know yet what those in-game activities are going to be. It could be Deck of Fate. It could be the Path of Fate. It could be the Path of Decks. It could be the Deck of Paths. We don't know yet. Plarium will let us know soon. And the only exclusive to shards one, no surprise, will be the Void Affinity Fatalis Blade Master. I don't know if he's going to be showing up on a 10x, a 2x, or any sort of that. All I know is that the only way to get this one is through shards. The fourth one are Niragante. Ooh, I feel like I'm going to get that wrong for a copy strike, but I apologize. Available through shards and in-game activities, similar to Alterion. And then finally, our soon-to-start Fragment event. The champion Fragment summon will be Zenogra. I think I said that her name very wrong. I apologize. The Twin Blade Zenogra Blade Master, and that'll start January 11th and end January 23rd. So those are the 5 champions. What else do you need to know? Well, the first thing is you just have to log in for 7 days. It's pretty simple to get Rathalos, who I've seen his kit, looks pretty freaking ridiculous. We'll talk about that in a minute. But looking very cool overall. You can see them in the splash screen I had. Those are the 5. They're riding the dragon. I mean, they're not fighting him. If you're so strong, the dragon's like, yeah, we can be friends. Remember, the dragon who eats one of our starter champions is like, yeah, we'll be friends. We're good. We're good here. I'm good. Good idea. But let's take a look now at the kits. Let's flip it over here. And I am so stoked for this. I'm trying not to be too fanboy. Can you see that there? That is your login champion. Let's talk about this kit, because this kit is bonkers to me. Even if the multipliers aren't what you want them to be, this is still going to be such an epic champion. Or one could say a legendary champion. So, Force Affinity, Legendary, Bannerlord, those are what you need to know. Also, what is his kit? It's Spirit Thrust. An A1 that attacks one enemy has a 50% chance of placing a decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. That can go up to 75%. If this is a boss, cannot be resisted. Just let that marinate in your head. Boss fighter, Hydra. I don't know, sometimes Clan Boss and Hydra might be excluded. I sure hope this isn't Hydra excluded. Don't care if it's Clan Boss excluded, but hopefully it isn't, because then, I don't know, maybe I got a new champion for my free-to-play. So A1, like a 65% chance of having a 60% decreased defense for 2 turns on an A1. A2, 4-turn cooldown, book to 3-turn cooldown, attacks one enemy. Every second use of the skill in a round will attack all enemies instead. will also ignore 25% of the target's defense. Now, I am not stuttering. You can read it. If the target is a boss, ignores 100% of the target's defense. 100%. Hey, high-level boss in Centranos, meet a login champion that all of you have access to that's just going to ignore your defense. Oh, you're defense based, whatever. Dead. This guy is going to absolutely smack. 100% ignore defense. He could hit like a wet noodle, and that'll be the hardest hitting wet noodle you've ever wielded in your life. Absolutely bonkers A2. A3, overhead slash, attacks all enemies. Before attacking, places a 30% increased crit damage buff and a 30% increased speed buff on this champion for 2 turns. And of course, can take that down to a 3-turn cooldown. Wow, what an amazing champion, you say. That sounds really good. What about who cares about the multipliers? We'll learn that when he gets in the game by the time you see this. But also has a passive. Inflicts 50% more damage against targets under HP burn debuffs. Receives 25% less damage from enemies under HP burn debuffs. Every 5th skill used by this champion does 200% more damage. What for is this champion about? This champion is about destroying Centranos, Doom Tower, possibly Hydra. If Hydra isn't exempt and the clan boss isn't exempt, sometimes they are, so we have to find out. But if they are not, this guy's going to be the new standard of, hey, pair me with Trunda and I'll hold my beer. Like, I feel like this guy's going to be, he may not have the multipliers of Trunda, so I'm not making any promises, but the kit reads as something special and you get him for free. Just for logging into the game. Free. 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 Awesome champion. Awesome job. Thank you to Monster Hunter and Raid Shadow Legends for this. But wait, there's more. I also have the kit of your Fusion Champion to start on the 11th. Let's bring it over here. Want to make sure you can see it. Yeah. Zenogra. I'm going to call her Zenogra. I haven't been told otherwise. It rings off the tongue very nicely. So Zenogra it is. A1. First of all, multi-attack. Going to be good for Fire Knight, we assume. Going to be good for anything that requires multi-hitters. I see it already. 1, 4, and 4, or 3, 4, and 4. That's a lot of hits. That's Giant Slayer. But let's take a look at the actual kit. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Has a 30% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. Unfortunately, that can't go any higher, but it's a 3-hitter. So that's a 90% chance. Really, it doesn't work that way. But if it did, that would be amazing. A2, Blade Strike, 4-turn cooldown, can be brought down with a mere 3 books to 3 turns. Attacks one enemy 4 times. Each hit increases this champion's turn meter by 5%. Also places an increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. Oh, and here's a speed buff. I'm hitting the thing so fast, you guys are going faster. Amazing. A3, Blade Spin. Attacks one enemy 4 times. Before attacking, places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. The first and second hit have a 75 book to 100% chance of placing a leech. The third and fourth have a 75 book to 100% chance of placing a decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. And you can get it down to a 3-turn cooldown. Bonkers. It's all single target, so this is all about boss fights as well. Similar, I think, pairs probably pretty well with Rathalos, but in Zenogra first looks cool, by the way. I'm all about it. The gear, the Monster Hunter inspired gear looks phenomenal. The Monster Hunter inspired weapons looks amazing. Champion looks cool. Kit looks awesome. What more could there be? Yes, there could. There could be a passive. The passive effect increases the damage this champion deals by 1% for every 1% of HP lost, up to 50%. This increased damage doubles if the target is under a decreased defense debuff. Also has a passive effect on a 4-turn cooldown, prevents this champion's death, and keeps him alive on 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit. This skill prevents the champion's death, heals them by 50% of their max HP, will not prevent this champion's death if they are under a heal reduction debuff. So you have to stop them with the heal reduction, but say they don't have a heal reduction, 1 HP, they automatically go to 50% HP, and guess what? When they're at 50% HP, they're hitting at an extra 50% damage. It's an absolute great kit. By the way, also an aura, dungeon aura ally speed by 30%. One of the very, 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 very few champions to have a 30% speed, and one of the even fewer to have that increased speed in dungeons. There's a lot in the arena. There's not so many that are all or in dungeons. So an amazing aura for this champion for dungeons. Going to be, I'm guessing, a Fire Knight killer, probably usable in other places. Centranos, I think you've met your match. 2, at least accessible. We'll see what the Fragment Fusion looks like, but at least accessible 2 champions. There's 3 more on the way. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. It's absolutely bonkers. Now, remember, this all ends March 5th, 2024. So all the 7-day login, the fusion will obviously end on January 28th. Which I don't have the map yet. They'll probably release that in the next day or two. The other 3 champions, as the events go throughout this crossover series, it's awesome for Capcom to do this. And I just also want to mention one last thing here. This is the 20th anniversary of Capcom's Monster Hunter, and they're actually releasing a brand new game. So if you do like Monster Hunter and you do like Raid Shadow Legends, this is going to be right up your alley. But also, if you like Monster Hunter or you want to check it out, there is a brand new title coming in 2025 as part of their 20th anniversary celebration. So make sure you head over to monsterhunter.com for all the latest information on Monster Hunter Wilds, which is the new title that'll be coming out next year. You know what? I'm sometimes critical of Raid. I'm sometimes critical of Plarium, but this is not one of those times. I know, hey, that Void champion, probably going to be hard to get, but the reality is you get a free champion that reads bonkers. There's a Fragment champion that looks pretty amazing, and that's just the tip of the iceberg as part of this whole, I guess we call it a crossover or collaboration between Raid Shadow Legends and Monster Hunter, between Capcom and Plarium. So I'm excited to see what this looks like. I'm excited to get these champions and start using them for you guys. I might, in my last video, I said I was going to do an epic only run in the in Centranos. I'm gonna have to modify that to a Monster Hunter run or a Monster Hunter with epics or some sort of thing, because I want to use these champions. I want to use them the second that I am able to. Both, I'll probably actually do this fusion on my main account. That's how much excitement I have towards this. The nostalgia of playing Monster Hunter, plus the fact that it's in this game now. We have champions with the inspiration of Monster Hunter, both in their weaponry and their armor. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Let me know in the comments down below. Did you play Monster Hunter? Any of the iterations? What do you think about the collab? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And of course, like, subscribe, and notify so that you can help me beat the algorithm of Raid Shadow Legends. And finally, I want to thank you for watching. Please be kind, be safe, and we'll see you in the next video.